I had one of those hippie straws in my drink, and they're paper, and so they just break. And
So
now I'm afraid
a bunch of wet paper in there.
Yeah. So I'm afraid to bring it over here because I can't put a lid on it. It's good stuff. It's the matcha from Cafecito.
Oh, right.
Really good.
I don't think I've ever had
Delicious. I'm doing a commercial for him right now. It's so good. Cafecito. Sponsor my show. All right. Welcome everybody back to the Are We Where Yet podcast. I am your host, Johnny. A few things for housekeeping today. I just want to say, hopefully you guys are enjoying the new theme music. Shout out to AG Flux for that music. He did it. It's 100% original. AG Flux, you can check him out on Facebook and IG. Most of the time he puts his beats on IG, so he's a hip hop producer. Also, hope you like the new artwork. That's done by Tom Fernandez. He's a comic book creator and illustrator. Has the new comic book out, Lumberjack Nun. Crazy stuff. I think it has to do with zombies and all that good stuff. So shout out to both of them for creating all this new stuff for season 3 Are We Where Yet podcast. Now we're going to dive into it. And across from me, I got it. Hold on. What is it? Fausto? Is it Fausto?
Fausto the Snowman.
Fausto Lopez, a.k.a. Legal Alien. How you doing, man?
What up?
You used to get that a lot, though, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I used to get, but...
What's the most common one?
I mean, growing up, when I was in elementary school, I knew, when the teachers used to like, all right, roll call, used to call the kids' names. I knew when it was my name because they would be like, Lopez. They just go right to my last name, and I'm like, here,
I thought they were going to say something else, but always something, right? You were always kind of like, you probably a little bit of tension, a little bit of like nervousness.
Yeah, there was always something with my name.
You're a junior, so it's your dad's name, right? Kind of, not junior, but your dad has the same name.
My dad has the same name. Yeah, my dad has a different. Actually, my dad's middle name is Fausto.
Oh, so then your middle name is Ivan,
and my middle name is Ivan. So,
and you never thought to go with Ivan, huh?
I actually I went with Ivan for like a couple years, but only at my job when I used to work for a pool company.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "What's your name?" And then they were like, "What's your middle name?"
They were gonna go with that.
Like, "Oh, Ivan. Oh, there it is, Ivan." So
we're good to go on Ivan. So having you on because you just released an album, right?
Sure.
What's the name of the album? I know it, but come on.
Come on, man. My new album is called Old Dog, Young Cats. It's released on Dune Sea Records. Dune Sea Records is a new thing that we kind of started too. It's a part of Dune Sea Crew. Dune Sea Crew's been doing shows for a long time. I mean, you're one of the pioneers of it.
Who started that?
Whatever. I'm not going to give you that much credit.
No, we can't do that here?
Nah. But seriously though, I mean, people know who started it. I think it was a group of people that it takes. But the
shout out to Mel.
Yeah, Mel was one of them. Man. DJ Reza. He really came through and
could not have done it without that dude.
Yeah, man, that dude is amazing. He was actually at our show last.
I saw that. I saw the picture
a couple weeks ago or something like that. Yeah, he was on the 1s and 2s, just killing it. It was dope. It was dope. But yeah, anyways, Old Dog, Young Cats. That's the new album that's out. You can get it on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon. All those places. Any digital outlet.
Cool.
Check it out.
I just wanted to kind of briefly do that for everybody listening, and then we're gonna kind of go back in your journey. So you're not originally from Yuma?
No, I am originally from California, Los Angeles, California, South Central area. I was there in Watts, actually, is where we were pretty much living, where I was raised there up until we moved up here. Probably I was like maybe, I want to say I was like 11 or 12 at
11
first.
or 12 when you get to Yuma.
When I first stepped into Yuma, like ever saw this, the deserted place, like it literally, I was like, dude, this is like movie stuff. I've never seen the desert like this. And this was back in like 92, maybe something like that. So then we stayed here for about a year, and then me and my younger sister, my parents, they moved us to Northern California for like 2.5 years. I officially moved back in 94
To Yuma, 94.
to Yuma.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But what's it like growing up in Watts, South Central? Because that you hear that in rap songs,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
in hip hop. Watts, South Central, and then Compton, right? You know.
In the city of good old Watts, that's Zapp and Roger.
Yeah. So seriously, what's it like growing up in Watts, the place you hear a lot about?
Dude, it was crazy, man. It was a trip, man. It was I saw like a whole, you hear people all, man, I seen all these things. I've seen a ton of but honestly, like
You seen it.
I seen it.
You seen it.
Like, no joke, man. Just from people getting beat up right in front of you to one of the things that always kind of sticks out to me was seeing there was this pregnant chick that was walking across the street of our house, and like her boyfriend, they were getting in a fight or something, and this dude just like straight up kicked her.
Kicked a pregnant girl
In the stomach, like
in the
straight up,
like I'm gonna do you and your baby.
Yeah, dude, and this chick was just crying there, and I was just like, what the heck? Like, I was, maybe 7, somewhere around that age, 7 or 8, and I was just like, man, this is not. And then, that's just one of the things, but it was just crazy. A lot of gang violence. My brothers, my older brothers, and some of my sisters started getting a little bit involved in all that stuff. Back in the
How could you not, right?
exactly. I mean, back in the 80s, that's when everything was like.
It was popping off.
That's like, if you weren't part of a gang,
Colors, right? Everybody's seen the movie
exactly.
Colors.
Colors.
That's where it took place, and then also the movie South Central. And
Yeah. There's
so
a lot of movies that always go through Watts, through that neighborhood there.
you're in the thick of it.
Yeah, exactly. Right in the middle of everything. And
But-
the thing about it is that there was there was the Latino Mexican gangs, and then like 5 blocks down was the Grape Street Crips. So it was like these two crazy just generations of people that are like just hungry and hurting, and like, you know what I'm saying, just blasting each other for no reason, really.
And so you say hungry and hurting. Your parents came here from Mexico, right?
Yes.
Hungry and hurting, probably looking for a better life,
Yeah.
right? They wanted something good for you guys, right? And so they ended up in South Central Watts. Were you the first? I think you and your sister to be born here in the States.
Yes. I have. It's a total of 7 of us. I have 6 other siblings. Excuse me. But yeah, it was only me and my younger sister that are actually from here, from the United States. All my other, my older brothers and sisters are from San Luis, Mexico, actually.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay. Which
so-
isn't far from here.
yeah, it's not far from here at all. What is it? 30 minutes, 25
Yeah.
minutes. But yeah, they ended up. They can only tell me the stories, but they crossed with all the kids pretty much, and my mom and my dad, and they got this what do they call them, coyote guys or whatever, just crossed them, and next thing you know,
Like you see in the movies, that
yeah.
really happened.
Oh yeah, that straight up happened. They got a ride. They drove all the way to LA with no really no plan, just like
No
let's
plan,
just get
maybe
over
just the
there,
clothes on their back, and they were like, "We're gonna get these kids a better life."
Yeah.
And then what happened?
I mean, from there, from there we were born. I guess when I say we, is me
You and your
my,
sister,
my younger sister,
Daniela, right?
Yeah, Daniela. Shout out to her. I love her to death. Anyways, she just had a new baby too. Actually, yeah, she's got like a newborn
congrats.
baby.
Congrats,
yeah, for
Daniela.
sure. Congratulations, Daniela and Fred. Anyways, we were, my parents had us, and as my older siblings started growing up, the gang life was kind of like you said, it was just surrounded, like it surrounded us everywhere. So, a lot of people, the Mexicans and the blacks out there were just kind of like just hating each other, fighting all the time, and so there was no unity at all. Like you would think, that maybe the two minorities would kind of get along, but nah, it's like they're just murdering each other.
It was just war, huh?
Yeah, it was just war all the time, and I remember my sisters coming home like beat up from being jumped for no reason just because they're Mexican,
Damn.
And yeah, it was nuts, dude. But anyway, so they started kind of doing, the other things that everyone else was doing, which was joining, a gang, kind of like a team type thing, like I got your back, because that's how it had to be. Like if you were in junior high and high school over there, like you had to have like a little support system, a little, something that'll like, all right, man, but you had to be willing to go in there and get dirty too, So, and that's when everything kind of started, like just problem after problem.
So problem after problem, your parents are facing it, and is that way they said, okay, it's time to go?
Yeah, man. So I think my dad actually went through this crazy phase of, like he got really sick, and he started getting all these welts and like almost like a crazy rash type thing all over his body. So he couldn't work, for a while, and like
he was a mechanic, right?
Yeah, he was an auto body worker.
Okay.
So he couldn't work for a while. He couldn't figure out what was wrong with him, and along with all the stress that was causing, and with all the gang life and all the problems that my brothers and everything was just kind of piling up, he was like, "That's it, we're moving to Yuma," and we're like,
"Yeah,
what the heck is Yuma? Like,
donde está Yuma, right?
You know what I mean? Just like
está?
everyone else's reaction, like, where is this place? Like,
so real quick before we jump there, there was a story that you lived on the beach for a while, though, right?
Yeah. So that right there, my dad had, like I said, he had he was really good at doing auto body. So he had a shop. He had, all these things. He was making really good money, but before that, he was like struggling to, just like, I mean, imagine having 7 kids, dude, and having to.
I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
I got 2, and
like I was just thinking the other day, I have 4 kids, so I'm just like, wow, like this is nuts, 7 kids, having to feed all of them, and anyways, it's a lot of crazy stuff. But yeah, so one of those times we were homeless because it was, he didn't have work. He didn't have, he didn't really have anything to bring to the table at that time. And my mom, she was pretty much taking care of everyone, all the kids, while he was at work whenever he did have a job. But at that time, he just didn't have any work. So the only thing we knew was, hey, we're going to go kind of camping, I guess, but we didn't have tents. We didn't have nothing really.
Yeah.
All we had was like, I want to say it was like a 1971 Cadillac, a 4-door Cadillac that we all
4-door Cadillac, 7 kids plus 2 parents on the beach.
Yeah.
We're out on the beach.
It was at, I want to say it was Marina Del Rey, maybe.
Wow.
Marina Del Rey Beach.
How long did that last?
That was probably about maybe a week or 2. Mm-hmm. It was something like that. It wasn't very long, but
it was real.
But it was real. I remember fishing for our food. Like, no joke.
Oh, you went back to the Jesus days.
Oh, dude. My dad was like, "Oh, we're gonna go catch our food right now." So
like the disciples.
Dude, no joke. We would catch. I remember catching clams and oysters and crab and like all right there by the rocks and everything.
Your dad would make it?
Yeah, my dad would cook it right there.
Some lemon and you're making me hungry now.
Dude. So I mean, we were homeless, but we were eating good, fresh. You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty
organic,
fresh.
like straight up out of the ocean.
Hey, man, fresh and organic. That's good right there. Yeah. So then a little while after that, it's like, okay, gang life, things are happening. It's time to go. And Yuma was the destination because he was familiar with Yuma. There was some job prospects, or
no. So, my grandma and like my dad's side of the family all lived in San Luis. So, like we said earlier, San Luis is only 25 minutes away. So, every once in a while they would cross and do what they had to do, whatever, go grocery shopping or whatever. But so that's how they were familiar with Yuma. My dad kind of knew that, like, if we say, well, we're moving to Mexico, that it was going to be kind of like, what? Like, this is, but anyways, he said, Yuma is a little city right next to San Luis. That's where, your grandma lives. My grandma, Ma Chui, rest in peace. She passed away last year. But my aunts, my cousins, like everyone was in San Luis. So he was, that's,
So
his
made it
family was there.
Made it a little bit more comfortable, made it more palatable, right?
For him, yeah, for sure. But we never, I mean, maybe we had met my grandma and a couple, maybe an aunt or two, but all our cousins and everyone else, we had never met anyone from over there. So this was all like brand new to everyone.
So you're here for a little while, and you said how long before you moved to Northern Cali?
Probably about a year and a half or so.
Year and a half. Yeah. Then you go to Northern Cali. Where at?
This little farm town called Del Rey. Del Rey, something. It's probably like 30 minutes away from Fresno. So, it was towards that area. The bigger little, I guess, bigger city next to Del Rey is another place called Sanger.
Okay.
People are more familiar with that, I guess. But yeah, it was like, like literally farm town, dude.
And that didn't work out?
See what I say about your phone?
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got it right. That didn't work out though?
So we were up there, man, and my dad had a compadre. He had one of those like.
That's a homie, right?
Yeah, that's a homie. Like,
yeah.
It's like, hey, compa, come over here, and we have this. He had a dealership, a used car dealership.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad knew auto body, so he was like, hey, come work over here. You guys, we can work together. You can, fix cars, sell cars, whatever, just to make money. So, make ends meet, so we moved up there and everything was kind of all right, I guess, it was kind of rough too, but, we lived in a small trailer, like a super small trailer, and it was, yeah, I'm not going to lie, it kind of sucked.
It sucked. So back
bad.
to Yuma, then it's like, okay, we got to come back to Yuma. Family's closer. It's always good to be around family in one sense too,
definitely.
Even if they're like 30, 40, 50 minutes away, hour, just to have them around, that's like, probably meant a lot to your dad.
Yeah.
Some moral support.
And honestly, I think it was more, because all my older brothers and sisters stayed in Yuma when we moved to Northern California. And my mom, my dad was busy working. He was doing his thing, working, all the time. And, but my mom was always the stay-at-home mom with us, with the kids. And so it was more her like wanting to kind of like, man, I miss my kids. I miss everyone being together, and my older brother actually is the one that kind of initiated the whole move back,
Gotcha. So about 14, you said you're back in Yuma?
Yeah, about 13, 14.
13, 14. When did you start playing the drums?
I started playing drums probably like around, I want to say I was like 16 maybe.
Okay, so a little bit after that, right?
Because it was I was about to turn 16 because the whole reason why we came back down to Yuma was because my brother, he accepted Christ in his life. So he was telling us like, hey man, you guys need to come over here, come to our church.
That's your older brother, Luis?
My older brother, Luis, yeah. So, so we were, we were kind of moved by that because we saw like a change in his life. Like this dude was like,
there was an actual significant.
Yes, there was a huge difference in his life. And, this dude was always caught up in problems with, the gang life or whatever, because the gang life didn't end when we moved. They actually brought it down over here.
Yeah.
So it's like,
they started their own little clique.
They started their own thing over here.
Probably found some other people that left LA for the same reason.
Exactly the same thing.
Let's link up.
So everything kind of went the same way. Started getting all kinds of problems, and so anyways, he made a change in his life, and that's when he was like, "You guys need to move back to Yuma," and that's kind of when everything started. Like you brought up the drums. I started playing drums because I was involved in church with the church band and all that stuff.
So that's what. Okay, so I didn't know that part because I knew like when I first met you, it was you knew the drums or you started with the drums and you had naturally had like a rhythm to you. You kind of taught yourself how to play drums, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So the way that happened was my brother, same guy, Luis, he had another dude that had a drum set that didn't really have anywhere to store them. So my brother had this two bedroom apartment, I think, and it was just him and his wife. He didn't have any kids back then. And So he had an extra room for a drum set. So he just had the drum set there. So every day after school, I would walk to his house, and I'd be like, well, when I first saw the drum set, I was like, what the heck? What do you have a drum set for? You know? And he's like, oh, this, so-and-so. And I was like, dude, I never sat on a drum set, played anything like that. So I was like, can I mess with it? But I've always, I've always liked the hip hop rhythm, that I was influenced with that all the time, but anyways, so I just sat there and kind of, the first time I didn't know what to do. I just kind of just
got
started,
the sticks in your hand and you're like
just messing around. Yeah. And then I just little by little, I started listening to songs, different songs, and just listening to the beat. And I just kind of keep the time with the hi-hat. And then after that, after I knew I had the hi-hat down and the same rhythm, then I'd bring in the snare. Okay, bring it. All right, here we go. I got this part now. All right, now the kick. Then I'm kicking everything here. So so everything had to work, obviously, simultaneously with the right rhythm and everything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, self-taught, man. I just kind of started like that, and then
taught yourself how to play drums. So then the drums were influenced by the hip hop music from earlier in your life. So, and the hip hop music came from LA.
Part of it did, but honestly, I think the hip hop music, I would say my library was expanded here in Arizona.
Okay, but the first initial maybe in LA, but then when you came to Yuma, it started to kind of grow in you.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
Cool.
And when I came over here is when I started, which is weird because you'd think being from LA, you'd be a lot of, you get a lot of big radio stations, and like you get to, they get the newer music faster than most people, but yeah, it was over here. I feel like, I guess it's more the people that I started hanging out with that were more, involved in different type of genres and, music, stuff like that. So.
Okay. But I think I was reading earlier, shout out to Bookworm Brown, Carlos.
Yeah.
You did a little thing with his Big Brown Dad. I think that's what it's called.
BigBrownDad.com. Yeah, shout out to Carlos.
One of the first hip hop songs had to do with Bismarcky, right? Either Vapors or...
Yeah, I remember Vapors and this is famous "You Got What I Need." Everyone knows that one. And I just remember how cool that song was. Like every time that hook came on, like you couldn't do anything but sing along with it.
You got to sing it.
You got, what I mean? It's like you just go at it, and it was that beat was just so dope, and like, so that was a big part of like kind of like, all right, this is cool. Like,
so that's
I like
LA.
This,
that was LA.
That was LA for me.
And then coming to Yuma, Arizona, and then it started to expand. So you're like 15, and like, so that'd be what, 94-ish around then. So that's when a lot of the, I think Dr. Dre's album already dropped by then. Snoop Dogg's coming out.
Yeah.
Outkast, stuff like that.
Dude,
so then it was like, it was on, huh?
Yeah, that's when I mean, all that, the good stuff, mid 90s, early 90s, and even 80s, all that, the mixture of all that is just, man, it was so dope. It opened up so many, so many things in my mind, like, dang, this is, like, these dudes are actually writing stuff, like saying, like.
So what do you mean by writing stuff? There's some content. Some people
content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Outkast, I guess you would say, is a little bit more. They're not as gangster. Obviously, they're more pimp, if anything. But they're not as ignorant.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I would get that.
Coming from LA, you've heard either gangster rap all the time out there. Just. That even the West Coast stuff, NWA, all that stuff, like, of course that's like part of hip hop, and it's
for sure.
It
has its place.
It has its place, yeah. But when you listen to something different, that like Outkast, say, first time I heard them, I was just like, dude, these dudes are rhyming different,
very intriguing,
and the way their cadence, their fluctuation of their voice, of like, you know what I mean? Everyone was trying to sound tough and gangster, and these dudes are, like you said, they had that cool, fresh, like kind of pimpish, like, oh man, dude, I was like, this is it right here.
Yeah, super cold, super cool, and definitely laid back, and almost like they weren't trying to prove anything. They just knew it.
They knew they were dope.
They just knew it. You know
Two
what I
dope
mean?
boys. You know.
Yeah, they just knew they were coming out with it. And so at that time was the time you were going to church, right? So that probably helped influence the fact that you were looking for something with a little bit more substance. Right?
Yeah, definitely, man. Because you know, in the even, you know, you went to church, like the church world. Even with their music, you know, it was always one direction. Even I can't believe I just said one direction, but you know what I'm saying.
Shout out to your favorite group, One Direction.
You know what I'm saying though? Like it was either
yeah.
real preachy, like or it was just on the other side. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, man, I feel like personally, I feel like my music, you know, is influenced obviously by both sides. You know, like I guess you would say Christian hip hop and you know, secular hip hop or whatever you want to call it. You know,
so that's what Christians normally call it, Christian and secular. Yeah,
secular,
that's for sure.
Because but which I think is funny, you know. But anyways, you know, I just thought it would always be cool to kind of be able to, if you're a Christian rapper or whatever, and you can perform at a show and still rock a crowd, like I think that's cool, whether it's not a Christian event or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think, you know, kind of listening to all that stuff like Outkast and you know, all these artists that were kind of influenced me on listening to all this stuff, you know, even the West Coast stuff, Dr. Dre, you know, Snoop, all these, those dudes are classic. You know, you can't really hate on them at all.
You can't.
But you know, I don't know. It's just a mixture of everything that kind of developed.
So I think I met you. I was probably 16, maybe you were 15, something, and then I think one of the first raps that I wrote going to the church, because I started going to church, was with you. And
that was on that Black Star beat, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was on what's the name of the song? I can't even remember.
I don't remember I do remember some of my lyrics actually.
The kickstand.
Yeah. It's something like, I lift up Christ like a kickstand on a bike. As soon as I touch the mic, I watch new life ignite. You know?
Hey, he's all, I kind of know it. He spits the whole verse, so he got ready before the whole thing.
No, yeah.
I remember
that just
man.
came to me. I swear to you, that just came to me. I was like, wow,
Respiration.
That's what it was.
Respiration was the beat. Respiration.
Yeah, I think you had the beat, and then it was like we did something. I don't know what it was for though. Was it for like?
I don't know. Honestly, well, remember we used to perform on Saturdays sometimes at church.
But it was like, was it like a Soldier for Christ? Because that was like a thing that they had then.
Yeah,
it was just something.
I just remember it was like, you know, let's write some dope song, you know, a dope song to this beat, like, you know. But yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah, so and that's funny because I remember it too, and it's like that's kind of interesting. So we intersected around that time, going to the same church, doing the same thing, and so like. One of the things we started rapping and doing shows. They called them outreaches. Yeah. I called them shows. Yeah. They said they were like a California Conquest was a name, right? They would get us in a van. I called it a tour. I told everybody.
That's funny. Oh, I'm on tour.
I would tell everybody back at home, like, hey, I'm on tour. I'm gonna go on tour this weekend and go perform in Barstow. And
that's funny.
And all these places in LA. But the thing was. For me, and I don't know if it was for you, it was like the repetition. It got me used to holding a mic. It got me used to how to perform for an audience. Same for you?
Oh yeah. I mean, that was the first time we actually ever grabbed the mic. I mean, on a stage, you know what I'm saying?
On a stage, like, legit.
And I say that because
58 mic.
Yeah, you know, we did it together. Like, you know, it was the same era. So it's like, you know, I believe that really did train us to, you know, to where we're at now. You know, I'm not going to say like I'm this rock star or anything, but I can say I have good mic control and understand the, you know, all that stuff because of that.
Light years above a lot of people. You got to say it because putting in all that work and how many times we performed and like, you know, it was my whole high school experience is pretty much at church. Your whole high school experience is at church. And we were constantly always performing, doing this thing. And in one sense, I even kind of like had some foresight thinking like, you know what, this is going to do something later. Like, I just got to do it. I just got to do it. And I did want to, you know, back then, like win souls, do the whole thing that they did. But it's like, no, this is doing something in me, and I like it, and I like performing, and sure enough, you know, now I'm doing a podcast or whatever. But that's all linked back to the fact that we had this foundation, of performing.
We understood how, you know, how you plug in a mic with the XLR, you know, going into the board, like as teenagers, as
we had to do it all,
setting everything up, you know what I mean? Like mic checking, you know, doing all that stuff and
playing music, DJing,
all that stuff,
all of it.
You know, but, and I think that really did prepare us for, you know, for who we are now, just, you know, as musicians, as artists, as podcast directors, whatever, you know?
Yeah. So that was a foundation. And so, you know, moving on later on in life, you married my sister.
Yeah.
Right. You know, so you're my brother-in-law, and we formed this whole super group at one point in time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Cerebral Arts, Battlestar. We got with
you guys were actually Battlestar before anything, though.
Yeah. So Battlestar was first, and then later Cerebral Arts, and
that's when I came in.
CJ.
Yep, CJ Citizen AIM. That dude was a huge influence on everything I do, pretty much. Like he's the one who showed me, you know, how to mess around with the beat program. Back then we were using Reason, you know, so Reason, I made my first beat on that. He showed me how to, hey, this is how I do it, and you know, any questions you have, and sure enough, it was, and even with recording, you know, you know, on Logic or Pro Tools, wherever, you know, it was. He kind of showed me the ropes with all that, you know. So, you know,
with CJ, it was kind of interesting because I met through doing that same thing, the outreach. Was outreaching at, like, I think the fair or something, and it kind of came across him, and he was a DJ, and they were like, hey, he's a rapper. And so, like, I would just go to his house and he would play records and old instrumentals. I would just rap over him until one day he was kind of like, so what's this Jesus thing all about? It was after 9/11, he was scared. And he was like, what's this thing about? I need to do it. And then he started going to church. And then one day outside of church, I'm freestyling with some dudes at church, and we're doing this thing. And he's like, well, I think I want to rap. And I'm like, well, okay, you know, whatever, you know.
Hold on, take the back seat.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, let's hear it. And he just came out with this monster verse. And I'm like, I've been doing this forever. And this dude at, like, you know, whatever age, 19, 20 or whatever he was, it just came out, and I'm like, I'm done, you know. I should have just quit.
That dude was a natural, man. He was one of those dudes.
Natural.
You know what I mean? Like, with creative, just everything was just so easy to him, and
it was like it lived inside of him.
Yeah.
You know, the beats, the rhyming, everything, because he wrote poetry, and that's kind of the thing that he was like, oh, I was like, oh, that's cool poetry, you know. And then when he spit, it was just like, oh man,
he was like, hey, homie, you take the back seat for a second.
Exactly.
Real quick.
It was like, yeah, you need to, and it wasn't our car, so that's funny. We were spitting in a car with Antonio, but so we had these different crews that kind of helped refine and define more, because then we got in the studio, which I hate studios. I hated rapping, like it being in there. I'd get super anxiety. That's why I never did a bunch of stuff, because I get mad anxiety, and everybody else, it would just seem like they can go in and just spit their verse and just do what they got to do. And that's something that you're good at. Yeah,
I guess it's I don't know. I just see it as a all right, let's just go in and do it. You know, I obviously I like to practice a lot before I go into. A lot of people say, you know, if you write a verse, record it like right there, right away. You know, I've heard a few people say that, but me personally, I like to go over it a couple times.
You like to sit with it, let it marinate a little bit.
I like to, because I've done this before, where I'll record a verse on my you know, the voice memos or whatever, and when I first do it, when I first write it or whatever, and then when I finally release the song, or like when it's kind of at the end of completion or whatever, I go back and listen, and I'm like, dude, that part is way different than how I originally did it. Because I feel like, you know, as you take a little bit of time with it, you get to kind of,
it gets to grow and blossom and bloom a little bit, like, and become something, take on some life.
Yeah.
But so you have that, but you also have that killer instinct. You just go in a booth and just Because I think you came out, you got you're just working on your solo stuff at like, hey, where did this come from?
Yeah. So I had this one here, this last one. It was a lot of working like on my own, honestly. Just like I do a lot of writing in my backyard.
But it's always been that way for you. You're comfortable working alone.
Yeah, definitely. It's I'm comfortable working with people too. I feel like whenever, like when me, Rudy, and Tom, shout out Dune Sea Crew, when we get together to write and stuff, like that energy is just different. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And so sometimes you can feed off of each other and just kind of like boom, go in. All right, we're done.
But you know how to bring that energy in your backyard, though. That's what I'm saying. So that's what's the unique about it. It's that you could do it. Like I hate writing songs by myself. Like I can't stand it. Like I need that energy. I need that flow. And but I love, because I come from the days of ciphering with VJ and Hot Dog and Delano and stuff like that. We would just just always constantly freestyling and ciphering and giving each other words. And so like I have that energy. But you could do it, like you said, in your backyard, just sit down, put on an instrumental, and then write, and then you got this whole song. And you did that also with your first album. You did it pretty much on your own, and you did. I think you got some beats from other people, but you were signed to what was it called?
Audio Sketchbook Records.
Yeah, shout out to Caps, Audio Sketchbook Records.
Yeah.
And so same thing with that. Like that was a lot of time that you put in on your own, and
yeah, definitely, man. It was I don't know. I as far as music wise, when it comes to like solo stuff, it just comes easy, I guess. I actually like writing songs. I like writing lyrics. I like, I guess you can say poetry, stuff like that. I don't really write poetry, but I like to write. I like to write songs, just any type of songs. Honestly, I feel like the melody on a beat can kind of, that has to do a lot with where you're going to take your song. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I feel like this melody on a beat that I get from, cause this last album, I didn't produce any of it. Like no, I used to produce beats back in the day, you remember?
Which I got to say though, is like really cool that there's enough good producers and a good enough network that you have, because it was tough back then to get beats from anybody. Like back when we were doing it, or when I was involved, it was like it was very rare to get a good dope beat, and that's now it seemed like
everyone's making sick
Mikey
beats,
Wizard, Horace Green, like, and he shocked me.
Tomfoolery, Tom, that dude kills it on the beats too, man.
It's funny because Tom, I've been knowing Tom for a long time, and it used to always be the gangster beats, like it's like
he still got that though.
yeah, and it's like he's definitely developed and took on its own life. But it's pretty cool though, because I'm listening to it and it's like, oh wow, there's a lot of good producers. And then I didn't even know Horace Green. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you're Horace Green?
Yeah.
Like what? He used to go to those open air shows back in the day. He was a kid just going to these shows, and it's like, man, that kind of makes me proud in a way, like to see this dude like making dope beats.
Yeah. Dude, I have a funny story about Horace Green, man. When I think you might remember it because it was at an open air show. Remember when we did the cleanup over there?
Yeah.
So we had a show afterwards. I can't remember what show it was, but we did the whole cleanup, and like, I don't know, a few weeks later we had a show. And we used to have, those shows used to get pretty packed. You remember you have the graffiti out there and all that stuff. So there was a lot of the young.
And if you don't know about open air, go Google it. It's on YouTube. You'll find out.
Go ask somebody. Somebody should be able to tell you. Anyone in hip hop. And just the music scene, honestly. Jeff, remember Jeff Yuma?
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Jeff for, he was a big part of the metal scene, and he's still doing that now, But just through open air, it was a cool thing to see. But anyways, Horace Green, Eric, he was out there, and I can't remember who he was with, but he was with a homie, and they were sparking it up back there.
Yeah, I remember.
And the cops were like driving by.
I remember that night.
Like, yo, dude. man, we just cleaned all this and we're trying to represent, this and that, and you can't be doing this.
We're trying to have a good image for these people.
It was funny, man. He brought that up along, like, I don't know, a few months
he
ago.
Remembers
yeah,
too,
he
huh?
remembered it. He brought it up
cool.
a few months ago, and I was just laughing. I was like,
because it was me and you that approached him.
Yeah,
that night. It was us two, and because I remember. It was like, oh my goodness, man, we're working hard, trying to have this clean image. We did all of our stuff just for people listening in Winter Haven, California, which was a great blessing because you don't have to deal with the city and the cops as much. And they, even when the fire department came, they just kind of let us do our thing.
Yeah,
they were
cool.
like, everybody was cool. So that was a great blessing to being so close to Winter Haven. But so you got all these good beats. How's it like to work with your son? That's like interesting.
Dude,
my nephew Isaac, he produced a beat on your album.
Shout out to Isaac, old boy. He goes by old boy. Dude, it was so cool, man, because this kid, he's another natural. Like, no joke. He's just a natural. Yeah, I mean, if you've seen him, climb trees and do all that stuff, he just has this balance on him.
Yeah, so he gets that rhythm from you.
So he has that rhythm that I'm gonna be honest. I did. When he first started making beats, GarageBand, stuff like that, he was like, hey, check this out. It was kind of showing me with the start of a beat. And I'm like, dude, that sounds cool, And all I did was like, hey, look, if you want to make a beat for a song, you have to kind of structure it. If you're going to do a verse, 16-bar verse, a hook or whatever, and you want your beat to kind of change up a little bit, have switch ups, like one of the things that you were always preaching,
oh man,
switch ups on beats,
got to.
And so then he just started making a bunch of different beats, and I'm like,
so kind of like you with the drum set.
Yeah,
he could that same thing that like father, like son, like you with the drum set. He took the opportunity to go and be alone with himself and figure out how I'm gonna do this.
Exactly that, dude. Because like I said, I only showed him maybe a couple times of just like, oh, hey, look, maybe you could move this here, blah, blah, blah. And then he just kind of took it all on his own. And, dude, he's just been making all kinds of beats. And this is what I love. I randomly get a text message from him, if he's at school, because he has the audio engineering and
he takes Adrian's class.
Adrian, shout out to Adrian
Matthews.
Yeah.
He was one of the original dudes back in the day.
Heck yeah, man. He's an OG. We were just talking, texting each other back and forth last week, talking about, all that stuff back in the day, But yeah, anyways, he's in that class. And
at Kofa, shout out to Kofa for putting together that beautiful class. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we have something cool coming up there too, that I'll talk to you a little bit more about. But, anyway, so he, Isaac, he randomly sends me a text. Dad, just wait till you hear this new beat. He's done that to me like 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, ooh, all right. Yeah. Cause usually I'm like, all right. He hasn't lied yet. He hasn't, every beat he's shown me that where he said that. And
it's
I'm
been
like,
fire.
Yeah, it's been really good, man. To where I'm like, you made this, dude? Like, seriously, like you structured this, like it's so dope, man.
So how's that feel though as a dad though? Like,
bro, it almost, I listened to one of his beats and I'm not even going to lie, it made me cry.
Oh, that's cool,
like
man.
It brought, I mean, I wasn't like, but just like tears in my eyes. I'm just like, dude, this is so cool, man. Like, because I think he knows that you can make a positive impact with music. Like that's how I see it. Like, man, this dude, like, throughout the years that I've been making music, all my music has always been, clean music. It's always been kind of like, I always see it like I want all my kids to be able to listen to every single one of my songs without having to, change the song because it's going to say something, whatever, you know what I mean? And
I appreciate that. Like, that's how I look at it, right? It's like, come on, have some consideration for the people listening.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, people do it, whatever, it is what it is. But, my flavor, my style is that, I want to be able to, I want your grandma to be able to listen to it and be like, oh, that's nice.
I'm going to show my grandma your stuff. I'm going to see what she says.
She'd probably be like, that's Fausto? Anyways, but yeah, I just, everyone, I want to be able to be played everywhere. You know what I mean? And I think the fact that Isaac has seen that throughout my music all these years, you know, he's kind of like seeing like, man, I want to do that too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The production wise, it's just so dope having, like you said, having all these producers, this team of people that are like just crazy good.
So
know?
you talked about like obviously the influential aspect of it. We don't go to the same church. We're not doing the outreaches anymore. Actually, me and you go to separate churches, and but you still kept a lot of that positivity in your music. Still, it's still a big core of who you are and what you're gonna do, right?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, that is the core. You know,
That's the core.
God is the core. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that.
But you wouldn't call yourself a Christian rapper per se.
No. You know, it's funny because a lot of people always ask me that. Like, I've gotten asked that at least 5 or 6 times with this album. Hey, is this a Christian album, or is this a, you know, secular album? Like
I don't even know how albums can be Christian or not.
Dude, I was just like,
that's like a thing. They like,
yeah, I know.
And the nombre de Cristo.
So I responded to that. I'm like, dude, it's just good music. Listen to it. It's positive music. You know, man, obviously it's I would say it's God influenced, you know what I mean? Because I have a message behind songs that, you know, I'm a believer in Christ, and I pray and I read and I seek, and, you know, I do all that stuff. But my music is just, I like to say it's just good music that I want to put out. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna preach something down your throat. Like, you know, I just want to show you love and show you that, listen to my music. You might like it.
Listen to it. Everybody can listen to it.
Yeah, anybody.
Your grandma.
Yeah.
Your Thea. All of them. Your newborn.
Yeah, you can play it at your kid's party, at a funeral if you want. Honestly, you can play it anywhere.
See you at the crossroads, so you won't be lonely. You still listen to Bone?
Honestly, dude, I haven't listened to Bone in a while.
That hurts my heart.
But I randomly like the homie. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but your other how do you say it? Your nemesis, the other guy that has a podcast, Precision Tune Studios.
Yeah.
He just interviewed Busy.
That's all love.
I know. It's all, I'm just being a dork about it. But anyways, he just interviewed Busy, so I checked out his interview.
How was it?
It was cool, man. He talked about all kinds of stuff. When kind of talked about old school stuff, you know, when he first got with Eazy-E and like all this stuff, you know.
I want to hit up Busy, see if he'll do my show.
Do it. I mean, you never know.
I just saw him on The Breakfast Club.
Right on. I know he's got like some new project, a new album or something.
Yeah, he has a new album out, and I saw him on The Breakfast Club, and he talked about the whole thing with Eazy and what they did. And, you know, and I still listen to Bone. Actually, at the gym yesterday, that's what I was listening to. I love Bone, man. That influenced your style early on.
Come on. That influenced heavy. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna if a Bone Thugs song comes on, obviously I'm gonna turn it up. I like Bone, you know what I mean? I like Bone Thugs, but I don't regularly like Bone Thugs and Harmony searching, you know, I don't do that, but like I used to. But yeah, definitely Bone Thugs.
Who's the favorite?
To me, Crazy Bone.
Crazy
has always been my favorite.
Man, I love Busy, man.
Everyone loves Busy.
I love Busy, but to be honest, the new album, not really feeling it. Like, I think they have to be all together. That harmony thing that they do really makes even like anyone solo. It's hard for me, but they're all together. It's like Busy really shines.
Yeah,
he's able to because he has that really high voice.
It's just the One Direction.
Shout out Luis over here. You know, and the reason why I say that is because I bring a Bone because your harmony. That's a big part of your music.
Yeah, I like to harmonize. When I understood how to harmonize and how to understood more music, not just like, oh, that sounds cool or whatever, but you understand like chords and keys and stuff like that.
What goes behind it, the layers.
What goes
you got to
go
a little bit deeper.
I started kind of learning that, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. You can do, nowadays, auto-tune is huge. Everyone uses auto-tune here and there or whatever. And it's cool. Some people use it right and it's clever, like it sounds good. But I like to, as a singer, I like to use harmonies all the time. Like whenever I can, to make it sound more, give it that full little cool freshness behind your vocal, But I remember going back once I understood music, stuff like that, going back listening to Bone and stuff. A lot of what they did was octaves. So there are some. This is one thing I will say: Busy and Crazy. Those dudes knew a little more of the harmony stuff, but they would do a lot of octaves. But them doing it together still sounded like really cool because
those layers.
They were low voice, mid, but it was just the octaves, but yeah, man, they had a lot of it. I like the way they sang and rapped and did their the fast rap. I was into the fast rapping thing
because you do that a little bit on the album, right?
Yeah. I think on everything I kind of mess with, usually
you bring it
just
out.
naturally comes. That's just the way I rhyme. It's sometimes a little faster, sometimes not. But yeah, I like that. I like that stuff, man. I thought it was cool seeing them, adding the harmony and the music, the melody behind all that stuff,
So harmony, you got that soul, you rap, but you also just did a worship song.
Yes.
Yeah. So straight like worship.
Yeah.
With Mikey Wizard.
Yeah.
Dope beat. You heard the beat and you're like, hey, what's up, Mikey? What you gonna do with that beat?
Nah, honestly, I didn't even ask for it, man.
What happened? What happened?
It was he had just taken a break actually from making music. He said that he had felt like God had gave him a message and said, I want you to kind of focus, on me and kind of seek me and pray more and just, that type of stuff. And so he obeyed. He listened. He kind of took a break from making any beats, from doing any recording sessions, any stuff like that. But at that time, we were working on my album when that happened. So he came up to me. He's like, hey, man, with you, I'm going to keep going because, we were already on schedule. You know what I mean? We were like doing this and we had the countdown was going, So, we kept working. And so just randomly on one of the sessions, I went to his house, to his studio, and I was just like, just kind of getting things going. And I was like, what's up, man? Have you worked on anything? And he was like, actually, I did. Yesterday, I finally kind of sat there and made a beat. And he was like, here, let me show you. And it was that beat. He named it Lucid Dreaming. Yeah. Because Lucid Dreams is that other full song or whatever his, I can't remember. Anyways, so he showed me that beat and I was just like, wow, this is like a really great beat right
Super
here, bro.
Down tempo. I love it, man.
Yeah, dude. Like as soon as I heard it, I was like, this could be an amazing song, But so he was like, so I asked him, I was like, what are your plans with it? What are you trying to do with it? He's like, dude, I don't know if I want to sell it. I don't know if I want to kind of just put it out. I don't know. Like really, I just really don't know. And I was like, dude, well, whatever you do with it, man, it's like, it's such a great beat, man. So whoever attempts to write a song to
make sure they come correct.
It needs to be right.
Yeah, make sure they come correct, right?
And that's what he was like, oh yeah, for sure, So anyways, like a couple weeks later, I think maybe a week later, he ends up putting it out. He puts it out on his SoundCloud page and was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to release this beat for free. Whoever wants to, it's up for download. Whoever wants to mess with it and try to write a song, just shoot me whatever you write. And I want to hear what you come up with, And the beat was out for like, I don't know, maybe a good month or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I hit him up and I was like, hey man, has anyone sent you anything on that beat? And he's like, dude, honestly, I've gotten people messaging me saying like, this is a dope beat. I want to,
but nobody stepped to the plate.
Yeah. Nobody really stepped up. And so then I was just like, well, shoot, let me listen to it. This is a really good beat. So I'm going to sit back. Same thing, sat in my backyard.
Go into the backyard.
Yeah,
there
just
it is.
Kind of sat there.
Backyard by yourself. Got a beat.
Yeah, and dude, it just kind of the song start. I mentioned this to you before. It actually started off as a memorial song. I wanted to write a song for CJ, for Citizen Name, like like it was that's the direction it was going. And then I kind of got stuck. It kind of just like it wasn't going anywhere after like 4 or 5 bars, and I'm just like, this isn't working right, you know. And I remember this clearly, dude. I was inside of my house, sitting on the edge of my bed, and I felt like God spoke to me right there and said, "Hey, stop what you're doing, and try and go back and write a worship song."
Wow.
Like no joke. It was so clear. Like, go back and write a worship song. And I was like,
change of direction.
Like, that's really different. You know what I mean? Because I never written a worship song to a beat like that. So I was like, all right, well, again, back to the drawing board, as they would say, which to me, it's my backyard. So I went and sure enough, man, that's where the song Glory, Glory came out, you know?
Yeah, great song. So I'm gonna feature that. I'm gonna put a link when we do this episode, so people can listen to it and check out that song.
Heck yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, because that's a great song. Gonna do more like it.
Yeah, we me and Mikey were talking a little bit more about doing some more worship stuff, that type of stuff too. So yeah, it should be fun.
That's good, man. That's good. We're going to have to wrap up here in a little bit, but you're going to do something special. You're going to do a little something.
Yeah. I got a little something for you.
A little something. Hey, look at you. Now your phone's ringing.
It's on vibrate though. So
yeah, that's all right.
It's my son here, actually.
Oh yeah.
We'll have to make him wait.
Yeah. So you're down to spit?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what you got. A little something.
Let me drink some water. Oh, this one.
Yeah, what?
Oh, what you trying to do here?
Are we where you podcast? Can you got anything to that?
Why you got to put me on the spot like that? Like freestyle or what?
I don't know.
Shut the front door.
What? Shut the front door.
What you got? You wanna spit?
No.
Spit a freestyle?
No, I'm good.
You bring up a freestyle beat and don't do anything, or what?
No. I just remember you really liked that beat back in the day.
I love that beat.
Yeah, that's a good beat.
I love that beat. I wish I was good enough freestyler to kind of just go in whenever, you know. I think it me and Rudy do it not as often as we should, but that's more of a kind of like a getting the same energy off of the person you're in there with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So no, I was just playing. I told Luis I was going to do that to you.
You're whack, dude. See, this I could do for sure, because I know this song really well.
How's it sound?
I think you're turning up my mic and not the beat.
No, I'm turning up your mic purposefully.
The beat is... The mic is really loud now. No, you just... Now I'm really low. Was I supposed to start there or what?
You good? You feeling it?
Yeah, I can hear it now.
All right, cool. I'll start it over again.
Yeah, start it over. All right, here we go. Yeah, that's good.
That's better.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the levels.
Is it my vocal that's too loud or what?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, let's try this. I'm just chilling and minding my business. If you could turn up the beat a little bit. I got enough problems of my own to deal with. Yo, I'm just chilling, trying to find that feeling of inspiration I've been trying to catch. It's been a minute, but in that minute I have realized that there are seasons. There's ups and downs like a traveling man's road experience, but I don't fear it, cause exactly that's what keeps me driving. They ask me how I'm doing, I respond, man, I'm surviving, cause it's survival of the fittest. I stay out of your business, cause I be about my business, get it? This a new era and I'm coming fitted. You can't take away my Jomo. No, this is my mojo. I'm kicking it in the dojo, riding solo. But see this one right here is for my people that
keep on grinding, cause ain't no other option but to keep going. And just like C4, it is explosive. Sometimes you win and no one notice. Man, is it even worth it? Those are the personal victories that I'm searching, the type that gives your life a little bit more purpose. This just the surface. I'm just chilling and minding my business. I have enough problems of my own to deal with. Ooh, I'm trying just to get away. Hey, drown my issues down by the lake. Yo, I'm just chilling and minding my business, doing work, believing God, he isn't finished. No, the chrysalis about to hang. Yes, transformation ready taking place. I'm done with it, just let it go. Soon as I made that decision, God started to flow. Like the currents of the ocean, with a purpose they stay moving. Everything that happens always isn't fun, but that's the ruling that the judge is given. Those are the cards that we've been handed, it's not my decision. But I must deal with what I'm dealing, cause I must move on, or stay stuck like sword and stone. This ain't no movie, this no Game of Thrones. This not a fantasy, this my reality. Ultimately, it's up to me how happy that I wanna be. But it gets hard when misery loves its company. Man, I gotta get out of this rut, cause I've been chilling here so comfortably. And then it dawned on me that I have power as long as that I believe. For he has said that all these things greater we will complete. And later on, yo, when I can see, it'll be time to work on my vision so I can see you. I'm just chilling and minding my business. I have enough problems of my own to deal with. Ooh, I'm trying just to get away. Hey, drown my issues down by the lake. Yo, I'm just chilling and minding my business, doing work, believing God, he isn't finished. No, the chrysalis about to hang. Yes, transformation ready taking place. Yo, I'm just chilling and minding my business, doing work, believing to feel this. Man,
You're good, you're good.
I messed it up right there, bro.
No, you're good, you're good. Hey,
You can chop it there at the end, I guess.
No, heck no, this is all staying. We don't cut nothing on this show. No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Did it live. That's cool, man. That's kind of like I grew up watching, the Wake Up Show. I love that show, Sway and Tech, the Wake Up Show, seeing my favorite rappers. So it was always kind of one of my dreams to get people on here and bust.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah, so I'm making dreams come true. Like seriously, as a little kid, that's what back in the day, we figured out how to get it here in Yuma.
Yeah.
Me and my friend how to get that radio station and get all that stuff. So it was super cool, man.
That's dope, man.
But anyway, yeah, you're the first to ever do a song on here.
Heck yeah.
Remy Rhymes did a verse back.
I remember you when you
I
had
forget
him on.
what season, but yeah, he did a verse, but not a full song. So anyway, tell everybody how to get their album and how to find you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that song right there was Chillin'. It's off of the album Old Dog, Young Cats. Look for it on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, all that stuff. Just, Google it. Old Dog, Young Cats, Legal Alien, Dune Sea Crew, all that stuff.
Cool. So the last question, where you want to take this all? Where are you headed towards?
Honestly, man, I'm headed wherever God wants me to head. I know that it's up to me to kind of keep pushing. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just going to push my music and just, I'm a musician. Naturally, I'm going to keep making music. Like, whether it goes anywhere or not, the fact that it's so many local people are kind of reaching out already, I believe it's made an impact, you know what I'm saying? So just I got videos coming out, a bunch of other stuff, working on actually new material already. So, I'm just gonna stay making
So the
music.
future, where looks like music. It just looks like music, constantly music.
Yeah, I think so, man. I want it, at least that's what I want it to be. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
well, and if it's not you, it's your son.
Yeah.
Right? It's Hadassah, the freestyle rapper.
Yeah, dude, she's like really good, no joke.
Yeah.
I can't wait till she grows up a little more, a few more years.
That's
so
my
she can
niece, your
start,
daughter.
Yeah, so she can start really understanding how to write and spit bars and stuff like that.
So your where also is like you want to reach people, some positivity.
Yeah, man, I think that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? A lot of people are hurting out there. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm hurting. Sometimes we're all hurting. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we're we gotta be there for each other and just kind of spread love as a cliche as that is. You know what I'm saying? But that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's just
so where we'll find you is where love is.
pretty much.
All right, man. I like that. I like that. That's good. That's good. So yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up here. Thank you for coming on. What'd you think?
This was cool, man. Thank you for having me. This is cool. I enjoyed it actually. Yeah. I messed up a little bit on that song, but it's all right.
No, dude, no.
It's live. It's live, right?
Dude, you did. Yeah, hey, man.
We're going live.
O'Reilly. Oh, I love that. Shout out to Brains, Brian. Yeah. Oh, he sent me that back in the day. I missed that.
Remember when I did a intro thing for you for this other little podcast you were doing with Kenjo?
Oh yeah. Banger Management.
Yeah, Banger Management.
Banger Management, my old radio show. I love that, Yeah. But again, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Look forward to everything you're going to be doing, and it's going to be good. It's going to be cool to see my nephew making beats. And,
heck yeah, man.
My kids are starting to get into music, and so it's like, it's cool because we have a creative family. All of our family is super creative.
Definitely.
We come from, it's pretty deep. So
yeah.
But anyway, thank you again. And I want to thank everybody for listening. If you subscribe to this on iTunes or it's Apple Podcasts now, leave us a rating, a review. That really helps out. Also, check us out Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. Find us, like us, follow us, do whatever you got to do. We appreciate you guys for listening, and may God bless you on your journey. We're out.
Yep.